Hello, this is Art Johnson, and welcome to Books for New World. I've been reading this great little book that has just captivated me for several months now, over actually longer than that, called Basic Ideas of Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, written in 1957. And the reason why I'm reading this chapter is that in terms of looking at my business growth, and I started looking at the source of supply and making things happen, I realized that there was something missing here. And increasingly, as I delved into it to kind of study about the essence of what makes things happen, I essentially embarked on a spiritual journey. And hand in hand, I am discovering with business growth is my spiritual growth, and it's the source of all abundance. And spirit is really something. And so this book is about the thing that calls all of us, that is always there. And so he starts out this chapter called Spiritual Growth, saying there's something within us, all of which constantly pushes us forward, which demands continued progress. And he calls it divine discontent. There's something that's just, I mean, that quiet voice. As soon as you get quiet, there's that voice that it's beautiful and it's speaking to you. And so the whole idea of this is to understand what this is about and how to essentially enjoy it as a gift of what he calls the Father. This is old thinking here, but as a gift of this divine spirit, or this divine energy, whatever you want to call it God or whatever you want. But it's this unified force field that we are all a part of, in us, through us, and as us, that he's talking about. And he really talks about the discipline of moving forward with this and how to deal with it. And he says you've got these three things going on here. You've got to exercise dominion over your body, because the body is a temple of your emotions and your feelings and your brain processing, your intellect. And so part of this whole idea is this coordination of this stuff is, he calls it creating an atmosphere of health. So, I mean, even though people are probably more familiar with their bodies than they are with their minds or their own emotional states and how to manage them, you can exercise dominion over the body. And from that dominion, which becomes also a mental process, you can create an atmosphere of health. And really what this is, in a quantum physics kind of way, is actually creating a vibrational field that sends health signals. Maybe it's by being calmer or whatever that is healthy. So healthy thinking helps your choices, and sends messages to your body. And so one of the things to create an atmosphere of health he talks about is an affirmation where he says, I am filled with life and love of God. I am strong and vibrant. God life surges through my entire body. I function normally, wholesomely, and effectively. And the history of this new thought is actually people were actually healing themselves with what they call consumption or tuberculosis. They were actually sending positive vibrations to their body. The last part of that affirmation is the power and perfection of God flows through me, constantly keeping me in superb health. And by doing those statements, he talks about the structure of consciousness. The subconscious mind takes that and acts upon it and actually starts to rebuild cells and you start feeling better because you're thinking better and you're feeling better. So he talks about the kind of the relationship between your emotional control and your dominion over your body. And the emotions are the key. Think about it. How many people, because they can't control their emotions, overeat or eat the wrong thing or drink the wrong thing or toke the wrong thing or take the wrong drugs because of basically their emotional state. And your emotional state changes your bodily state, so you don't feel very good, and that, that can be a catch-22 here. So to get out of that, you can change your environment by changing your thinking, and your thinking can also help discipline your emotions. And part of it all has to do with realizing who you truly are. And this is really important for me. I'm 68 years young, and there's a part of me that looks at my body, but I'm more than it. I'm the same person that I was when I was born. There's something eternal about me that is, I think, is spiritual in nature. That's what it feels like. I'm going with that emotion, and because all of our cells are just basically conglomerations of energy, and they manifest in the physical plane and emotionally. And so you have this intellect also that is being nourished. And he talks about 3 ways of doing that through study. However, don't be reading all these books. This is, well, he says, I think he really is kind of making a plug for this book. Read like one book and just get the basic principles down. That's what I'm doing with this book, because it's got them all right there. And to use affirmative prayer, which is a way of using your mind and connecting it with this quantum state, or with this unified force field, or what we call God mind. That's a hard, difficult. Some people, I hate it. I don't want to say I hate it. I don't hate anything, but people are uncomfortable with the God word because they think this white guy up in the sky here and a separation. But this new thought really doesn't say that. God is to be found within. You are an expression because you're part of the one mind. Your mind is thinking into the one mind, and the one mind is actually responding to your thoughts. You're creating your experience through your thinking. Amazing. And so, according to your faith, you can really help your business growth by your spiritual growth. And we'll talk about that later in some other books I've been reading about the infinite supply and what they talked about in the early New Thought about understanding the difference between abundance, supply and the manifestation. True supply is really a spiritual thing, but it can be manifested spiritually and materially and bodily. So anyway, I'll go on and on. I feel like I'm rambling here, but I'm really not. I'm just almost kind of like in a meditative state now, because this stuff is really getting to me, and it's making me feel really full of joy and goodness, and it's making my life really simple. So that's why I really want to share this. Part of this whole discipline is to share it with my joy with other people, and maybe I can connect with you emotionally, because there's so many good things out here. There's so many wonderful things. I'm working with some new technology. I'm working with Google Hangouts on air, an amazing television capability. I just added a $2.99 video editing package to my cell phone even. So I'm actually doing major productions in HD on my cell phone. Never thought it could happen. I thought I'd see it in my lifetime. So now I'm just figuring out how to stay on course, how to essentially align with this force of infinite creativity, of infinite supply. And this book sure does help. So we have one more chapter, which is called Better Living Now. So stay tuned for next time I do this. I took a little time to do this one because I just visited my 94-year-old mom, who's an artist, painter, documenting 130 of her pieces of artwork and talking about, you know, what's going to happen to her artwork after she transitions. So I'm really kind of filled with a lot of emotions and thoughts and good feelings of having visited her and being lucky enough to see her again down in Oakland. So anyway, I'll just go on and on and on. So thank you so much for another chapter of Books for a New World. I will see you later. Thank you so much.